Hey guys, welcome back to the channel Mr. Black Hat Hacker, and today we'll be cracking Wi-Fi passwords. So this you can see is my Kali Linux pen drive. I have already plugged it in. This is the live USB that I had shown you in this previous video, and now I'm going to tell you on how to boot into the Kali Linux from the basic input output system, that is the BIOS of your computer. So switch on the laptop and go into the boot menu. So different devices have different methods of going into the boot menu. I'm going into the setup right now, and from here I'll use the arrow keys to go into the boot options. Now from the USB priority order, I already have the USB storage devices in the topmost priority. You must have the hard drive as a default in the topmost. You can use the plus and the minus buttons to choose which one you want to boot, or simply click enter on that and you can see all those devices. This is my SanDisk Cruiser Blade in which I have the Kali Linux Live installed. So I already have the save, so whenever I boot in with my pen drive plugged in, I automatically boot into my Kali Linux. You can do the same, or you can set up a temporary boot. Now I'm going to exit. I'm going to save changes. That is a yes. See, as you can now see, we have successfully booted into the Kali Linux. Now inside the Kali boot menu, we are going to boot into the live AMD 64. That is the default option. So I'm going to press enter, and I'll see you guys on the other side.
So this is my Kali Linux desktop, and in the background you can see a bunch of commands. I'll be adding these commands in the description of this video for you guys, and I hope that this video helps you in cracking Wi-Fi passwords. And I also want to let you know something before we start on to this, that this is highly for ethical purposes and only for educational purposes. I do not recommend you doing it on any other public Wi-Fi's or hotspots or routers or any such that thing. This is for only ethical purpose. I am repeating it again, and only hack or crack into those Wi-Fi's which you actually own or have the permission to hack or crack into. So we'll be better with this video, and I'll be firing up a terminal uname space -a. So this basically gives me details of my Kali Linux operating system. Here you can see that I'm using a Linux Kali 5.1.14.0 Kali 14-AMD 64 release Debian script, and I'm just informing you that this is the 2021.4 version of Kali Linux rolling. And now, as you can see in the next command, I'm typing IP space addr. Now LAN O, you can see that the LAN O is my Wi-Fi router or the Wi-Fi stick that I'm using. This basically, as you can see, it is saying no carrier broadcast multicast UP, and you can see later it says down in the red. That means currently it is not connected to any routers nearby. So I am going to go ahead and sudo space airmon-ng check kill. This command basically kills any processes that are running in the background that might interrupt us in our process. So this has killed my PID 1701 named WPS applicant. And in the next command, sudo airmon-ng start LAN 0. You can see that now it is in the monitor mode. It says monitor mode VIF enabled for physical PHY0 LAN 0. And now if I type sudo airmon-ng, it says, it gives me the interface name LAN 0 mon. So now the interface that was previously LAN 0, it has converted into LAN 0 mon. That means basically the monitor mode. And the monitor mode is nothing but monitoring all the traffic around on the nearby devices or the routers. So iwconfig, you can see that it is in the mode says monitor. Now sudo space airodump-ng LAN 0 mon, and then LAN 0 mon is again the interface name. Here a bunch of BSSIDs, Wi-Fi names, channels and other beacons and other details pop up. Now there's no password required is the name of my router, and you can see the BSSID and the channel is 10. Now I'm going to stop the script by Control C. Now for my next command I'll be typing sudo space airodump-ng space -w, which means file name that I want. You can set it to any you want. I've set it as hack1 space -c space 10. So -c is the channel. So 10, as you could see that it said 10 in my channel in the above command, and now space --bssid, and now the bssid of my Wi-Fi router, and then space and the name of the interface, that is again LAN0-mon. Now as you can see, it gives me a list of devices that are currently connected to my router. Now I'll just pick up my phone and will be connecting to it. So as you can see, now the frames have started going up. You can see it is pretty obvious, and now I'll keep this script running in the background so that you can see this, and it's live, you can know. And now in the new terminal I'll be writing sudo airplay-ng space --d-auth0 space my -a and the bssid again space interface name, that is LAN0-mon. So basically what this command does is that it sends deauthentication packets. That means these packets cause the router to disconnect from all its devices. Like it's like a Wi-Fi jammer, but only for a particular router, this command. So basically what this does is it forces the devices to disconnect from it, and then as you know that all the devices have by default connect automatically to this Wi-Fi option enabled. So as soon as those get enabled, you will see I'm sending deauthentication packets. And if you notice back in the previous terminal, in the top line, channel 10 elapsed time space date, and then the time is rolling. So next to that there is a blank space, but instead of that, once the devices reconnect, there has to be a WPA. It means we have captured the details, transfers and the credentials of the Wi-Fi. Now, but of course they'll be encoded. So I'm now stopping the Wi-Fi jammer script or the deauthentication packets by Control C, and now you can see there is a WPA handshake available in our previous terminal. Now I'm going to close my deauthentication terminal, and back to the previous one I'll be doing Control C to quit it. Now I'll be opening a folder, and here you can see now there is a file hack1-01.cap. This is all the Wi-Fi credentials and the messages from the Wi-Fi router and my device. Now I'll be using Wireshark space hack1-01.cap. Now Wireshark is basically a software that allows us to look into all the details of the CAP file. That means the exchange of the messages from the phone to the router and vice versa. So basically what happens when router is connected from a device, basically when a device connects, it sends the password like what we type in the phone. It sends that password to the Wi-Fi router, encrypted of course, and that Wi-Fi router has its own encrypted password. And when the encryption of both these match, then if they match, then we have a Wi-Fi connection successful. And now through Wireshark I'll be having that encoded, of course not decoded, not in the text format but in numbers and special characters. I'll have that encoded format. So I'm typing this command Wireshark space hack-1-01.cap. It has launched my Wireshark terminal, and you can see in the notes it says EAPOL. So I have to filter for EAPOL. Now it has some error. I'll just redo that whole bit. I'm going to check it again. Hack1 space dash 01. So Wireshark okay, yeah, this one seems better. So that was a glitch. Now as you can see, when I search for EA poll, so it says it has 3 for me. Basically I disconnected the deauthentication too soon, but that's okay. I have all the details I need. So now as you can see that I have got in my terminal 3. So when we go down, you can see I have the WPA key length. I want that one which has a WPA key data length of 22, not 0, not 56, not any other number. I need that 22-bit encoding. So now once I know that it is there, I'm going to do airmon-ng space stop. Oh yeah, I forgot to add the sudo airmon-ng stop space interface name lansramon. Now you can see that the station is changed from the monitor mode to the station mode. And now I'll be showing you how this Wi-Fi hack actually worked. So there is this method called brute forcing. So like we have millions of passwords stored in a text file, and brute force scripts allow us to use those passwords one by one simultaneously. It makes up thousands of terminals and then starts checking each and every password with the encoded passwords. So now I'm going to show you. Every Kali Linux has this by default file in the /user/share/wordlists folder. As you can see, I have a zipped file rock.txt.gz. Now I have to unzip that first. I'm going to double click on it and then I'm clicking, since this file is in a root folder, I have to have the super user commands like the administrator privileges. So I'm going to right click and open as root, and now I am going to unzip this zipped file. As you can see, I am extracting it in that same folder. So I'll give it a minute to extract. There we go, it's done. Now I'll just see. I'm just going to show you the rock.txt file. Nano space rock.txt. So it's reading, it's a big file, so as you can see, this file, it has about millions of passwords that people actually use in real life, and these just never get old. I'm just going down. You can see there are millions of passwords. You can see I'm just going through all of them, and you can see it just never ends. It's like this file is a 140 MB file. I know, of course, there are more bigger word lists throughout the internet, but RockU is the most trusted and the most used in this field. So I am just going to close this now. As you can see that I have closed that, and now I'm going to close both the windows of the file managers, and in the next command I'll be typing aircrack-ng space the file name that was hack1-01.cap. I remember that name. You can look in for your name, space -w space and then the path of that word list, that was /usr/share/wordlists/rocku.txt. There we go. Now as you can see, it is currently going through millions of passwords per second, and there we go. It has found my key, that was akshat@24. As you can see on the top, it has checked 9,473 passwords within 5 seconds. So of course no human can do this, and we can see the master key. We can see that there is a master key, transistor key, and then the EA poll HAF code, HMAC code, I'm sorry. So this is basically it. And now you might be wondering that what if the password is not in there. So I'm just going to let you all know that brute forcing Wi-Fi is like the only possible manner to do it, unless you have some keylogger or some wireless scripts or a Raspberry Pi chip installed. I mean, like, this is the most easy way. This is the easiest way to crack into Wi-Fi. So what this does is it matches millions of passwords with the actual encoded password, and if there is a match, it returns it. So mine was akshar_24. I hope you liked this video, and please do consider subscribing to my YouTube channel. That's been my time. Thank you for watching.